Oh, good evening and welcome to Gana Short. Gana Short में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we're going to have an update on conflicts because there are a lot of conflicts going all around the world. You've seen the Ukraine conflict flare up again. South China Sea is on the edge, and then of course the Israel and Iran, conflict which is not happening as it. So I thought, let's put all these three things together. फिर देखेंगे ये कहाँ जा रहा है ये पूरा कहानी और ये तो पिछले 2 साल से चले आ रहा है और कभी ऊपर होता है कभी नहीं होता नीचे होता है बट अभी क्या है कि इट हैज स्टार्टेड अफेक्टिंग लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स ग्लोबली and many people don't understand that all these three conflicts have now getting connected with each other, right? And how they're connected with each other I'll tell as I go down the line. Now this is the thing of Ukraine. Now you would have read it's about 10 days back. Suddenly Ukraine did a counterattack and they went to Kursk. And there was a big halla gulla about it. So what is Kursk? है क्या चीज है यार ये तो देखो आप. तो अगर आप देखेंगे मैप ये है कुर्स्क. ये जो एरो है उसके ऊपर जो छोटा सा डॉट है नीला सा वो है जहां यूक्रेन ने काउंटर ऑफेंसिव किया और हमारे साथ काउंटर ऑफेंसिव किया and it has grabbed some territory in you know across Ukraine and Russia. That's the importance of this offensive. अगर आप नजदीक से देखेंगे लेट मी एक्सप्लेन. देखिए अभी देखो ये सूमी के ऊपर है ये सेलियंट और कुर्स्क से अभी भी 30-40 किलोमीटर दूर है. राइट नीचे कार्किव है जहां रशिया है. और तो व्हाट्स सो ग्रेट अबाउट दिस थिंग. सबसे पहले यूक्रेन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम हैज गॉट होल्ड ऑफ रशियन टेरिटरी. तो आगे जाके when you do the negotiation, at least Ukraine has now got a bargaining chip. But what's so special about this Kursk? Itna sa chota sa, how is it this thing? Why it's important this offensive is if Ukraine somehow manages to get hold of Kursk, one of the routes from north Moscow down to Kursk to Kharkiv and to Belgorod gets cut off. As it is, Belgorod is under threat and supplies to Belgorod is under threat. So as it is, Russia is stretched out logistically. And if something comes from behind, it'll be a military defeat. Now people will say, yeah, ऐसे थोड़ी ना military defeat हो जाता है. मैं भी बोल रहा हूँ ऐसे नहीं होता military defeat. But military defeat कब होता है किसी को पता नहीं चलता. Whoever thought that, Ukraine will take a counter-offensive? No one thought, even Russia didn't think, no one thought. But the result is, today Ukraine is sitting in some part of Russia and it's an important part of Russia. Okay, go further. Now, if you look at it, this is Belgorod, Kursk to down to Belgorod. Belgorod has got, Russian troops. So you're sitting actually behind Belgorod, right? And if you get to Kursk, Belgorod encampment is cut off. As it is, for the first time, Ukrainians have got actual Russian prisoners, 100 odd, and now there's a bargaining chip. Okay. More importantly, this enclave of about 10 to 20 kilometers deep into Russian territory enables them to launch, drones, enables them to launch missiles, everything to threaten this artery. If that happens, then there's a problem for Russia. Now, Russia is immediately trying to get some forces there, but Russia के पास उतने forces नहीं है आज के दिन. They're also to the end of their tether. So if the Russians shift from the main effort down south into blocking or counterattacking at Kursk, this southern part will become weak. If southern part becomes weak somewhere, Ukraine can, make a breakthrough. So everything is on the cards. That little offensive has opened up so many things. And one thing for sure is पूरा लड़ाई के अंदर Ukraine has been far more adept at maneuver. They maneuvered once near Kharkiv. This is the second time they're maneuvering. The Russians have not maneuvered. Russians have used brute power. Despite taking all of this hitting for the past 2 years, despite not having anything, despite not having manpower, everything, you see that, well, these steps have come in and, made some headway, which is damn good, right? Which I thought is really good. And, well, will this go farther? It's doubtful. See, we are in a situation where Russia can't win. Ukraine cannot lose more than what it has already lost. That's the situation. Russia and Ukraine both are war weary. The hope is, will the new president make a deal? If it's Trump, there'll be a deal. But if it is not Trump, there's a problem. We'll see. But the issue here, which I want to put across to everyone, is this war will continue to destabilize other areas indirectly. How this will happen, we'll talk a little later. But before I move ahead, I'd like all of you to ask questions, because after this, we'll have an open house. Any question, anything, right, is open. Okay. Then let's look at the Israel war, Israel and Iran. You remember Ismail Hania was assassinated in Tehran. It happened 20 days back. Uske साथ साथ Hezbollah commander was knocked off in Lebanon, right? Another commander was locked off in Beirut, not Beirut, in Iraq. And Israel had carried out an attack at Yemen. And they knocked off another important Hamas commander. So, and Iran said, we will do assassination, we'll do this, we'll do that, and this and that. 20 days have gone, nothing has happened. So, what's the story? First thing we have to understand, many people said, will Iran attack Israel? How will Israel respond? Will everyone else attack? So far, nothing has happened. Ab dekhiye. Why? You have to understand this well. Okay, in the last exchange of fire they had, Iran fired 300 missiles, right? And a lot of drones and all that. They all got sweated off. After that, Hezbollah has been continuing to fire. They had some success. But Israel fired one drone attack. It did at Natanz, near Natanz. What is Natanz? Natanz is a Iranian nuclear facility. They've fired off. They've conveyed a message. Aap kuch karo, I'll hit your thing. Then what Israel did after that, after those assassinations, when Iran was going to, they said, we'll go to war, we'll sort out, Israel and all that. Israel carried out a mid-air refueling exercise and hit something somewhere. It's shown a capacity, आप कहीं भी हमें टच करो, हम भी आपको कहीं भी टच कर सकते हैं. And when Israel has, there's a question. Did I miss the open house? Shastriji, you not miss the open house? It's on. So you put your questions. I know you have a couple of questions, but the YouTube thing is that when you put your questions beforehand, most of them go off. So you type in your questions. So Israel has conveyed a very serious meaning. You do anything, we'll hit you at your vulnerabilities and sensitivities. So that is the first thing. The second thing is this 1,300 kilometers distance. It's very clear now that Iran can't attack Israel physically. Hezbollah also doesn't have the guts to cross the border and send its troops in, because they'll get wiped out. Yemen, in any case, Houthis can't do it. Hamas को वैसे भी पिटाई हो रहा है, तो लड़ाई किसका होगा? Okay, so a lot of tu मैं. Oh, actually, ये जो all these chaps are more tu मैं types. here we have to take a little step back and assess situation. See the history of Iran. When Soleimani was knocked off long back, uh, and he was knocked off by a drone attack assassinated by USA, right? Iran made a lot of noise that we're going to attack this, we'll do that, nothing. What happened? Finally, they fired some missiles which landed 50, 60 kilometers away from American bases, and that was the end of it. देखो हमने फायर कर दिया तो कुछ नहीं हुआ. What happened when Israel attacked their nuclear scientist and killed him remotely using an AI based device? They did nothing. Recently, there was a terrorist attack on, when Soleimani's anniversary or anniversary was being celebrated. A lot of people died there. What did Israel do after that? Sorry, Iran do after that? Nothing. So, actually, what has happened in the past 20, 30 days is Iran is not willing to take that risk. And we also have to understand that Iran has just had a change of president. So, there is an issue there. They don't have the capability. So, the limitations of Iran have come out. Even these Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas, and all, for them to do a terrorist kind of an action, ho sakta hai. But can they come into a conventional situation and fight? Zero. They're not able to fight. So what is the big deal? Everyone is trying to get a face-saving exit. Okay. Now I picked up some international news. What's the story going on? This is it. Let me enlarge it and we'll read it out. Now, Israel has practiced aerial refueling and simulated long-range flights deep into enemy territory. That is naturally Iran. Now, Iran wants to restore deterrence, and Iran, the uh, indications are it wants to avoid a large-scale war. Now, US, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, everyone is trying to get into a ceasefire. Today, Hamas has rejected those ceasefire talks. Hostages are still there. They're trying to get the hostages out. Nothing is happening. Qatar is also trying to negotiate it. Now, for the first time, I've heard Qatar telling Iran of grave consequences of conducting an attack on Israel at the very moment when there are signs of diplomatic progress. Whether diplomatic progress takes place or not is a question mark. Now, Israeli intelligence community has come out, and unka assessment kya hai? Iran and Hezbollah have lowered the level of alertness of their missile and rocket units. They're not this thing. Will they go up again? It can happen in a day or two. But so far, it appears that after the initial thing, they suddenly realized that Israel has many cards, it has not yet played. Israel has also assessed Hezbollah will not retaliate against Israel, right? But this is till time the ceasefire negotiations continue. But that has broken off. If that has broken off today because Hamas has said no, will there be some kind of will there be some kind of um, what shall I say escalation of hostilities? We'll see tomorrow. But one thing for sure, I don't think Hezbollah will cross the border. They can keep firing, and I think Israel is quite okay. It's prepared to pay the price. Overall, if you see what Israel did then was quite calculated. Of course, Iran leaders have been saying we'll give a harsh and tooth-breaking response, vagara, vagara. But the interesting thing is Iran is seeking a partnership with Chinese satellite companies because they want low-cost satellites, all that. Right. Here comes the catch, which means that Iran does not have targeting capability. If Iran doesn't have the targeting capability, right, how will it hit Israel? And Iran also doesn't have targeting capability because it doesn't have space capability. If Chinese people give their satellites to them, then China will now be told, okay, now you not only help them, you are helping here also. So the Chinese satellite guys, very difficult for them to give thing. That's why they want to buy. Now, if you're going to buy a satellite, launch it, and then put it in orbit another domain, so it's not going anywhere. Then one important thing, there's a direct connect between the Ukraine war and the war, Israel-Iran war. Mutual aid between Russia and Iran will reduce. Very simple. Both want, again, Iran wants to be ready for war. Russia wants to continue that war. Earlier, what did we see? We saw Russia was taking ammunition and from North Korea and drones from Iran. But now Iran itself will need what it this thing. It can it give? If it gets caught in a war, long war, what happens? So there's a thing. Okay. Now we'll not stop here. I'll go ahead. So this war is going to happen, not happen. In the meanwhile, whatever is happening in Gaza is happening. Israel is carrying on with whatever it wants. Look, we can say it's right, wrong, uh, humanitarian issues and all, but Israel is doing what it wants to do. Will they obliterate Hamas? I doubt. They might start talking with Hamas more seriously if that Yahya Sinwar is knocked off. I'm sure Israel is now after Yahya Sinwar. And if Yahya Sinwar gets knocked off after Hania, then Hamas leadership is at stake. I think all this Israel understands, and it's very clear now where Israel is heading. And Israel is also taking advantage of the fact of the American elections. Right now, let's see how it goes. Israel also feels there's a window before which they want to stop this whole story, and that window will be American elections. But then we don't know. We need to wait a bit. Okay. Interesting thing, what's happening is in the South China Sea. This is the South China Sea. If you see the map closely, you will see, look, South China Sea, Scarborough Shoal. That's the flashpoint. And then the Spratly Islands. That's the second, flashpoint at this point. Now you'll see, why am I going to South China Sea? See this map. See the distance from China to Spratly Islands, almost the southern tip. It's over 800 kilometers. All the fighting and tutu meme is going around between Scarborough Shoal and Spratly Islands. Specifically, if you see, you look at this. You see where Scarborough Shoal is, and you see where Sabina Shoal is, and where Second Thomas Shoal is. It is in this area. Okay, Scarborough Shoal is about 200 kilometers from Philippines, and Sabina and Thomas Shoal are also around that, about 150 to 200 kilometers. But from China, it's over 1,000 kilometers, which means, go back to the previous thing, China is stretched down below. What has happened? Initially, they sent militia, then they've had to send Coast Guard, then they send Navy, now they're sending their Air Force also, or Naval Aviation, whatever it is. So that war is escalating there. From a conflict, anytime it could go into a war. And Philippines is sitting behind, and it's getting all the help from USA. It's tied China down there. Okay, let's look at it a little further. So now today there's a ramming on in Sabina Shoal. I've shown you where Sabina Shoal is. That green mark is Sabina Shoal. Today, two ships have rammed. Now, one each is blaming the other. So, what's the outcome? This is the second time the blame this has happened. At times, some fisticuffs and all have happened there. Every day, there's a slight escalation. For the first time, I'm seeing in South China Morning Post and other things that there could be a war. So if that's in a war, the China has committed in a war. It's been pulled. Now, what happens to Taiwan then? Just think. So, right, this is the kind of activity, Chinese PLA activity, which has happened around, the Spratly Islands. I'll just show it to you a little closer. Then this you see a lot of PLA activity. So now PLA is operating far away, right? Some might say, no, it's in our base, it's in our area, but still you're operating 700, 800, 900 kilometers away from your base. In this melee, if two or three ships go down, end of China's maritime, aspirations. So there's a, people have to understand China is getting stretched. And don't look at it only from here. Look at what happened in Taiwan 2 months back. They did all this. There was the places where they fired. They didn't fire this time. They did a lot of patrols. They did naval activity, and they said they will do this, they'll do that, and all that, right? And so, why are they doing this? If they get stuck here and in Philippines, what happens? You look at this. This is the first island chain from top. Okay, it's in two hooks, and they're fighting on the first island chain at two different places. If they want to go to Taiwan, they can't forget Philippines. If they want to hit Philippines, they can't go to Taiwan. So somewhere China is stuck. Okay, what is Chinese aim? Knock out Taiwan. Unless Taiwan is knocked out, they can't go to the second island chain and threaten Guam. China can't go into the open seas. If it doesn't go, uska Navy is stuck. Right? Navy is stuck between the mainland and the first island chain. The sea between the mainland and the first island chain is shallow. So they can't use their navy. Their navy is bottled up. That's the problem China is stuck in today. And you add to the fact Xi Jinping is doing a disappearing act off and on. He's not made any one policy statement, nothing, right? And there's problem in PLA. So where does China go? So you see that is stuck. Okay. Now, of course, this is the missile cover of China. Everyone says, oh, with this kind of missile cover, Americans can't come close to the mainland. But there are a lot of bases in the hinterland also. These are the known, bases of PLA rocket force. Right? Can America take some of them out? They can. Are these PLA missiles reliable? We know they are not because you know what happened. उसका आधा तो PLA RF का नॉकआउट कर दिया जी जिनपिंग ने. Or there are a couple of misfires. In fact, one misfire, DF-17, it fired from the coast and landed in Beijing about 3 months back. In fact, General Narayanan and I spoke about it. So you see that overall, things are bad. They're not in a good shape. All these three conflicts are now interconnected. How? Everyone spoke China, Russia, Iran, and Korea. They'll come up. Yeah, sure. गठबंधन हो जाएगा या गठबंधन भी हो गया. उससे क्या हुआ? कुछ हुआ? कुछ नहीं है. Russia is on the back foot in Kursk, and Russia is shaken up. For the first time, they are defending their own country. And they don't seem to have that capability to reduce that Kursk salient in a hurry. If they have to shift troops. If they shift troops, somewhere else the weakness will develop. Then this thing, you can make it out. Iran is stuck. Iran is ready for war. If they want to do something, they should be ready for war. So they can't help China or Russia. Russia can't get help from Iran. So that mutual aid, which these CRIC countries can do, is stuck. China is already far out. It'll take one boat to be sunk in South China Sea. किसी का हो, चाहे वो फिलीपींस का बोट सिंक हो गया हो या यूएसए का बोट सिंक हो गया हो या और किसी कंट्री का सिंक हो गया या चाइना का, वहां लड़ाई छिड़ जाएगा. अगर वहां लड़ाई छिड़ जाएगा, चाइना किसको हेल्प करेगा? चाइना किससे हेल्प लेगा? So virtually, you see, people keep saying, भाई USA ने ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया. Actually, in my assessment, USA has not committed one troop. It has just moved its forces around, giving some ammunition. ये तीनों को फंसा के रखा है आज के दिन. इसराइल के साथ ईरान के साथ इसराइल लड़ रहा है, वहां यूक्रेन लड़ा रहे हैं, और यहाँ फिलीपींस के साथ चाइना को लड़ा रहे हैं. That's why. And that's one of the reasons why USA is kafa with us, because we didn't play their ball and get into a fight with China. And that is why what's happened in Bangladesh. Okay. So all these three have put these people stretched. Everyone is stretched. So where do we stand? That's a question mark. That's $1 million question, right? And the $1 million question for me to answer is, I'll not take this so easily. I promised you that I'll get someone, one of you, to start interacting with me. And I mean it. Every open house, I'm prepared to get you people on the show and ask questions directly. Give your views. Okay. And so far, from the last time to now, only one person has agreed. And that is Akash Tadani. Okay, here we go. I'm going to welcome Akash onto the podium. Uh, Akash, good evening and welcome to Gunner Shot. It's an honor for me that you have chosen to and agreed to come on to Gunner Shot and be part of the interactive session. How are you?
All well, sir. Jai Hind, sir. All well.
Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Yeah. Uh,
Greetings to all
so, yeah, how do you feel?
members.
Let me know before you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Right, sir.
Sir, before have your say and all that, how do you feel being live on Gunner Shot?
Yeah, it's fun, sir. It's quite comfortable.
It's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite comfortable. Not a
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
I,
it's not
I have
something
my
very.
I have my script right in front of me. What I'm going to say,
Oh, good.
and
Yeah, we're going to hear
after
you.
that, you take it forward from there, sir.
Yeah, I'll take it forward from there. And what I do like is the flag. India flag is nice, good, great. Honored
Sir,
to have you here. I must tell everyone in the thing that look, this is the first time I want more of you here. We need to have an interactive discussion and all this, and I'm open to whatever you talk. Right. So
okay, sir.
before I take others' questions, what we'll do is you heard me give my views about these three, conflicts, major conflicts which are happening. These are the major conflicts. Of course,
Right,
Bangladesh is
sir.
in turmoil at this point of time, but I think
Right,
given a
sir.
week, 10 days, the real picture will come out. It's a long-term problem. We'll discuss it.
Right, sir.
So I want you to give your views about all this and then
Okay, sir.
pose your question and answer you. And then, of course, I'll take everyone else's question. Over to you, Akash. You're
All right.
all yours.
All right, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Uh, Before I
Yeah, here
start,
you go.
greetings, Jai Hind, sir, and greetings to all members, subscribers, and viewers. It is indeed an honor to be participating in General Shankar's podcast on global geopolitics. In fact, to be the first is a matter of pride. As we are aware, the General, during his 4 decades of military service, took many initiatives, and while being the Director General Artillery, was instrumental in making the artillery an even more formidable force, better prepared for war and conflicts. Of course, with ever-changing nature of warfare, his successors have a task on their hands. Now, the general has explained to us in much detail the global conflicts around us, namely Ukraine, West Asia, and South China Sea. But the question still remains: which way are we headed? The first step in any such exercise is to do map reading. And we have seen quite a few maps during the presentation, the talk. While keeping Bharat, the probable end target of the proverbial deep state, in perspective, we have two conflicts to our west and one to our east. Nearer our mainland, and more recently, Bangladesh has conflagrated, resulting in a direct attack on our people, Hindus. It is but a matter of time, and we shall take firm action in this matter, which I expect would be exemplary and would dissuade our enemies from messing with us. Okay? Ukraine has frankly turned out to be a long drawn bloodbath, and the same can be said for West Asia, Israel, Gaza, which apparently is also conflagrating towards Iran, while South China Sea is on the boil and is just awaiting a trigger. Now, the mighty US defense industrial complex is finding it difficult to keep pace with these large and related smaller conflicts, even if they are willing to produce and supply weapons and ammunition. The client states don't have the money or the willingness to pay for such supplies. Further, US forces across the various bases globally are stretched. while it apparently targets its global trade partner, China, as a payback for their recent transgressions and also for challenging their supremacy. Now, sitting here and in all parts of the world, the advent of the internet age, search engines, and social media platforms have evolved and made information readily and transparently available to one and all. The narratives being constructed and propagated by the enemy are clearly visible to our keen eyes. Add to this the awakening of the erstwhile underdog, making for a cocktail beyond the pay grade of the present global leadership. In view of all this, I find that the present global leadership has lost their marbles and frankly don't know what to do. Thus, they are flaying a dead horse by continuing to do things that they have already done in the past, not realizing that we know what they've done in the past and are able to project what they will do next. Thus, in a manner of speaking, we are ahead of the game for the change. Sir, you enlightened us with regard to the present geopolitical circumstances. However, the question remains, where are we headed from here? What are the ramifications for the various participants? All yours, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Oh, oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Akash. There were very pertinent things you said, and I think you made some interesting points out there. Uh, the interesting point that you made is all the global leadership, the strategic leadership, is unable to get into a path of peace. One conflict has led to the other, to the other, to the other, and we are now stuck with so many conflicts. And like you said, they lost their marbles. Right? I think they lost more than their marbles, so they're stuck. How do you get out of it? They won't. They don't seem to be getting out of it. In fact, things are getting bad to worse. I think they'll get to a point where where everyone hits a wall, a dead end, and then say, "Look, now we'll have to start renegotiating," and then some calm will come. But let's look at it from an Indian point of view. When you look at it from an Indian point of view, which I keep saying, all around us there are conflicts going. Like you said, two to the west and one to the east. That doesn't worry me because those conflicts are not going to impact us. They will impact us, but not physically. The problem is Bangladesh at this point of time. The problem is Sri Lanka because that's also heading into elections. And the problem is, of course, Pakistan, where things are going over. And the biggest problem is China, where things internally are not very good. And that's something which I want to talk of tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to, if I get the time, I'm going to talk of the internal economy. The internal economy is completely sorted out.
Right, sir.
So we have a problem with these, five states: Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, China, and of course Myanmar. How we handle these, our neighborhood, is how things will go forward. And over and above that, our I think we've come to a point where some of us have to really do some hard rethink. Uh, at the beginning of the year, all of us were talking, look, India, USA will get together. This will be the biggest partnership. We will take on China together and all that. Has that happened? No.
Nope.
What has happened is the other way around. Our partnership with USA is not going well. Though our partnership with Russia will go is okay. We put our hopes in USA, and that's a natural partner, and that's not going well. How do we get out of that problem? How do you?
May I just have a word in?
Yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah,
look
yeah.
at it historically, America has always sided with our enemies, Pakistan or any other one.
Yeah,
Like it would
yeah.
appear that they've also backed China in 1962. How did Mao get all the money to fight a war with us in 62? So before that,
Yeah.
stands to reason that it was American backing that they got the money to be able
No,
to
no.
What about it's just a it's
Bangladesh.
just a guesstimation.
No, no. What I'm trying to say is, uh, I'm not saying that America is not involved in Bangladesh. It has been involved, and
Ah, Bangladesh,
I've
of
said so
course,
in
sir.
as many words. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bangladesh. But the fact is, where will our relationship with USA go?
yeah,
That's the point, right? And if our relationship with USA doesn't go well, and we're not prepared to go along with China, we're not prepared to go along, and you can't go along with China. And Russia, though it's a very good partner, is not an economic giant. Then what happens to Viksit Bharat? That's the larger aim. So we have to see politically how do you manage your surroundings and the conflicts which will overspill over to us, and how do you handle USA is your greater strategic challenge, I think, for the next 4 to 5 months. Now, there will be
yes.
people who will say, oh, we should go in and sort out Bangladesh, we should sort out here. We don't have that capability. Let me put it up front.
It'll be a
India
nightmare, sir.
doesn't
The
have the
monsoons.
capability to keep,
It's a marshland there, sir,
yeah,
in this kind of weather.
yeah. India doesn't have the capability to keep going invading everyone and sorting everyone out, right? We don't. It's not a military capability. We don't have the economic capability, and you must realize that unless we, have these things tied up, economics, if it gets hit, we will get derailed. So we are in for a tough time, and I might like to add one more issue. We have to look within ourselves, our societal problems. Like what's happened with the doctors, you
Yeah,
know.
right, sir.
This is something which, and these things pull our image down, these things pull our national morale down in a big way. And so I think we have a lot of soul searching which we have to do. How do we handle these countries? How do we handle the larger geostrategic relationships? How do we handle our internal societal problems? And we also have a major, which I spoke of day before yesterday with General Atta Hasnain. How do we handle our J&K?
Right, sir.
Elections are going to come. Elections will, after the elections, will statehood be restored? How do you deal if a different party comes up? How do you deal with the will of the people? So we have
Right.
some difficult times. My guess is the second half of this year, which has started, is going to be very, very, very difficult. So this is my view on what you had said. You want to say anything for a minute? Please do, and then I'll say thank you to you and take on other questions.
Right, sir. No more questions. I mean, it's been great interacting with you, and I look forward to
Yeah,
more such occasions. Jai
yeah,
Hind, Jai Bharat.
sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Akash. It's been a pleasure to have you on Gunnershot. And this thing I would like to tell everyone, right? I'd like to tell everyone that, like Akash, I would like you to come here and interact with me, and
Right,
I'll put you on the show, and you can talk, and we
right,
can
sir.
have a conversation after that. That's
Right, sir.
great. Okay. Thanks a lot again, Akash. And I'll now take some questions. Okay. This is the first question from Shritik. He says, what are the Iranian mullahs waiting for? Khamenei says, Inkar wrath of Allah, ye, wo, all that. Are they planning something big, or are they afraid? I told you, I explained this to you, why Israel, has put the creeps into Iran. Iran will not take a hasty step. And I don't think there are any good options for Iran against Israel. My personal view, others might talk what they want. If you think that Israel is going to fire 1,000 drones, it will not. Yeah, do you think Hezbollah will do? They might. But will they fire so many and get away with it? Might not. What if Israel attacks Lebanon? Then Hezbollah loses political capital. Okay. You have to study the politics of Lebanon to understand the problem of Hezbollah. They're just only 15% of the parliament, the Lebanon parliament, which is a very funny parliament. Okay. Despite being the strongest military force, so they have their issues. Ultimately, they want to, rule Lebanon. That's their bigger aim. So that's how it is. I don't think things will happen in a hurry. They might not. I mean, look, we don't. I really can't second guess what the Iranian mullahs are thinking. They might say go for a war. What will they do in this war? That's the bigger question. How will this war come out? It will be a non-contact operation at best, right? It's not a physical war. I mean, it's just non-contact. In non-contact, Israel has better options. So let's see how it pans out. Will Israel have the thing to go and take out a nuclear site? These are the bigger questions which will come up. Okay, right. Shastri, your question. Rumors has it that Ukraine managed to pollute Russian sensor data and pollute the data layer of Russian battle management plan. Yes, they did. They did a tremendous uh, EW attack on Russia when they went into Kursk. There was a they call when you do that kind of a thing, it's called a whiteout. There was an electronic whiteout in the Kursk area. The Russians didn't know for 48 hours what was happening. And before that, also, the Ukrainians played it very smart. The Russians could not pick up concentration of about 5,000 troops who were moved in there quietly. So it was a complete surprise. And that is why the Russians are struggling still. They don't know how to react now. Right? That's the whole story. Okay. And it just goes to prove in this that you can't count out you maneuver, you can't count out surprise. Surprise still remains the biggest battle winning factor in any battle. And this is where we have to learn. Countries like Pakistan know how to give tactical surprise or strategic surprise also. So things are dicey there. We have to understand that. So, right? We have to be clear how not to get surprised again. If we have always gone on the back foot in most of our battles recently because we've been surprised. That's an important question in that context. Okay, what are the best way to tackle Islamic radicalization? I mean, no matter how hard we try, a lot of chaps are radicalized because the Sky Book explicitly says kill, terrorize, infidels, dead end. Look, let me put it this way: Islamic radicalization is a affliction of a few countries, and mostly Pakistan, and a lot of people in Afghanistan are in that mold. And that was largely because of Islamization or radicalization of Pakistan, which started with Ziaul Haq. And a certain amount of funding for Wahhabism in by Saudi Arabia. Okay, and many other things. The answer to this is societal reform and societal equity, progress, democracy. You look at Indonesia. Indonesia has not suffered radicalism. It's the biggest Islamic nation. We've had problems. We've overcome them. I see a lot of Muslims around in this place. I find them pretty good. And, people from the north have a different view. People from certain political parties have a different view. But I think we need to think differently. We need to think differently, right? So don't look at that. And you can't tackle Islamic radicalism with what's happening in Pakistan. Be very clear about it. You can only talk about it here. And here, I think we've handled it much better than anyone else. But still, you'll find that odd guy, you can't stop it. Yeah, Netanyahu recently said that Hitler didn't want Holocaust Jews, but Muslim convinced them to do it. Look, what Netanyahu is saying is a shrewd politician. Don't give too much attention to it. He is he's provoking people into action to be himself in power. Because one of the problems I think he has is the day he remits his office, he might be held to task. He might be taken to court. So he is doing a lot of things. So I don't trust Netanyahu at all. Okay, in this all such things, he's doing things to suit himself. Yeah, we are in phase 3 of our battle management system rollout. What is the armed forces doing to secure its sensor data? Well, something I can't tell you, but it's doing enough. One of the things, let me tell you, is we are not relying on others. We are trying to see our own solutions. See, you have to see it in two layers. In the first layer, whatever is there at this point of time, you don't have the technology. If you don't have the technology, you adopt someone else's technology and use it. That's what we are doing. But for our long-term operations, like we've come up with our own operating system. We are looking at our own cloud. You're looking at your own software. You're looking at your own hardware. You're looking at your own processes. We're just giving you in one plate. In many other technologies, like you have your own Navic, so you don't have to rely on GPS. So there are a lot of things which are we are doing to offset uh, because the battle management system uh, relies on all these. Okay, so we are doing a lot, so don't worry about it. Yesterday, you're saying Xi Jinping is death or something. He has been seen. He's been seen for weeks. It seems Vietnam president met Xi Jinping, and yeah, I agree with you. What did I say yesterday? I said he's not, might not be well, or he might be sidelined, right? Or something is amiss. That's what we said. I didn't say he's dead. In fact, I kept saying he's alive. He keeps coming up for ceremonial things. I'm repeating it, and this is ceremonial, so he's being put back on the stage. But will he make a policy statement? He's not made a policy statement from July 15th till now, 40 days. He's not made one policy statement so far. So what are we talking about? So is he become a figurehead? Is there a thing? That's the point. If you react to every small thing which happens in China, you will not lose the bigger picture. Wait, we'll see where Xi Jinping is. He's come, he'll see, and then we'll see where he's going. ये लंबा रेस की खेल है ये. It's not a short thing. Are the armed forces opening up their battle management software for external civilian cyber? No, we will not do it. No one will do cyber security assessment of a armed force thing. We will get expertise, we will do it on our own. And we have risk management practices and all that, so don't worry. Don't think the Indian armed forces are from the Philistines. We know what to do things. Yeah, UPSC released lateral entry notification and opposition already doing reservation propaganda. In such circumstances, how can we be like US where best civilians are called to lead this stuff? It will not happen. Not in India. Just forget it. Even this lateral entry, the first time everyone was wrapped up and they all went back. So let's see, because these things have got a lot of implications. Even the IAS people have issues. So if you think we will behave like Americans, just forget it. We are far different from them, so nothing will happen. Okay. Oh, there's a super. Let me take that. Okay. Ram Red. Do you think these wars in Europe, Middle East, and tension in Asian subcontinent lead to World War III, like in World War One and World War Two? Your thought? We are already in somewhere near a world war. Okay, we are already in somewhere near a world war. Like I told you, if USA gets into war and if China gets into war, it's world war in some manner, conflict, and then it might go into that kind of a thing. So we are on the precipice of a world war. The way I look at it. That's why not many people subscribe to my way of thinking, but my way of thinking is the Russia-Ukraine war has already split Europe and Russia. The Middle East war, whatever is happening, has put the Middle East peace process, everything in turmoil. South China Sea, China is stretched. I said one boat sinking, there'll be problems there. You see, Latin America, Venezuela, Guyana, they're in problems. Come to the Indian subcontinent. I prefer calling it Indian subcontinent and not South Asia. Indian subcontinent. You Bangladesh has been destabilized. Last year, Sri Lanka was destabilized. Pakistan is in a state of permanent destabilization. Myanmar is destabilized. So you see this instability also. Now, the latest thing is, of course, in Thailand, where there's political instability. So all these put together, you're on the edge. You just have to tip over. Something can happen, and then you'll see all hell fighting loose. That's my point, Bamred. Let's see where it is going. Okay. Yeah, Shanghai has said, yeah, I've said this. Lateral entry I've covered. Yeah. So your thoughts on ways to tie down PLA without getting involved, arming the Uyghurs or the Tibetans apart from Philippines? Uyghurs, we have not had I wouldn't say a history. We have not reached out to them. But if you reach out to them and expect them to do something and all that will take time. Our best bet are the Tibetans. And I'm of the opinion that we should start doing something with Tibet or the Tibetans. We need to start doing certain things which we actually started, but for some reason we've taken a step back. We have to help the Tibetans more, because if you do that, that's good enough. And then we have already taken steps to tie down the PLA. Please understand. Now you have 3 strike course poised. Your offensive, from a defensive orientation 3 years back, you have developed some offensive capability. The moment you develop offensive capability and you are good with the Tibetans and you start doing certain things with the Tibetans and doing certain other things, which maybe someday I'll explain. What should our uh, military strategy be against China? A political military strategy against China? Then obviously PLA will get tied down. And you also see PLA getting tied down here and they're stretched there. What can PLA do? It's easy to say, I will do this, I will do that. PLA doesn't have the capability. Okay. General VK set up the PhD, which was doing daring cover tops. While not ethical, it was perhaps necessary. Could you give your views on it? Also, why didn't then DGMO General Bhatia admonish it? See, please understand. I don't want to get involved with it because it involves an ex-chief and a sitting minister. I might have my opinion on it. Uh, Certain things which were done in it were okay. Certain things which were done in it were not the best things to happen. These things happen, so I leave it at that. Right? I think it's too sensitive for me to comment. I'm being very honest. I don't want to comment on it. I mean, I know a lot more. Uh, uh, I wouldn't like to comment on it because a lot of people have said, "Oh, this chap is a hero now." Yeah, all that. I have my. I don't want to get involved with it at this point of time. Right? It's not good. It's not good for India to, uh, open skeletons. We should look forward. You can't keep looking back. Yeah, arming Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand keep plan. Yeah, we can. Yeah, Bangladesh has stabilized and back to normal. I don't think so. I'm making a point. Bangladesh is not stable. It will remain unstable for a long time to come. You watch it. I'm making it a thing. Okay. I don't understand why a IPS Babu who is in passport office or civil supplies or similar is elevated to head NSG or ITBP as opposed to people from, yeah, it seems a bit, there's a viewpoint. We'll leave it at that. There's a thing of the government. I don't want to get involved with that again. Okay. There are issues of military equations in our country. So we'll leave it at that. I don't want. It's not the best thing. I agree with your sentiment, but I don't want to comment on it. Yeah, with all these conflicts across the globe, are we in the midst of a World War III? I've answered this. We are on the edge of it. Okay. So, what is the future of Tejas? Do we have any contingency plans for GE engines? Is Kaveri a viable option for us or from any third country, such as Russia and France? All these options are open. Don't think that GE engines were, if you think that the GE engines were to roll out within 5 6 months, you're mistaken. At that time itself, I had said a lot of people were saying, "Oh, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya." I said, "Be patient. These negotiations will take time. Uh, After 1 2 years, you will get something." Okay. These negotiations will never happen. In fact, let me tell you, when we got the M777, after 3 years of negotiating with the US guys, then whole thing broke. That plan went for a toss. It was closed. Then we reopened it, and then again it took another 3 years before the first gun landed in India. So these things happen. It takes time. It's not a simple thing. Don't be in a hurry. And I don't see anything dead. We have options with France. We have options with Russia. We have options anywhere. इरादा है तो हद सब कुछ हो जाता है. Okay. Is he the same Akash whom I see comment section of defense talks? I don't know whether he goes to defense talks or not because I don't see def talks. I don't see any other channel, to be very honest. I don't have time for it, right? But Akash keeps coming regularly and it's good. Look, why I got him was that I gave you an offer. One of you can come and participate. I've given you my email ID. I put it in the comment section. I'm still saying, come over, join in. Give more, speak. I'm not stopping you. Please come and speak. I would like to have a discussion in an open house with 4 5 of you, giving your views on a topic. I have no problem. Let's hear. Why only ask questions? Do a broadcast with Ajay Raina on JNK election. Hey, yaar, we don't need Ajay Raina. I don't know who he is, to be very honest. I don't know. I don't know him personally, so I don't want to ask him. But I will get good people who have been at the helm of affairs. For example, Jan Satish Dua, you know, Atta Hasnain, they know that place backwards. Okay, I'll get them. If I have to get, I'll get a guy from JNK. Don't worry. What are the Pak-China vulnerabilities to be exploited by us and ours to be protected heavily? Look, Pakistan and China. Pakistan has got both Pakistan and China. Their economies are weak. Their demographies are weak. They have internal problems. You have to exploit that. You have to make sure that they keep looking inward. If you make them look inward, everything will be okay. That's a short answer for that. Our weaknesses are hell of a lot. We have societal weaknesses. We have problems. You see what's happening in Calcutta. All these things will pull your strength down. So, and we have our religious problems, fault lines. So, ethnic fault lines. What's happening in Manipur? And you have political problems, which are being exploited, which were being exploited before also. So, we have Pakistan and China have a lot of vulnerabilities. It's just that how do you handle them? May I have spoken of China's vulnerability. Pakistan vulnerability तो सबको पता है. उसके पास ammunition नहीं है, ये है, वो है. Ninad, now that you said so, let me put it. 21st, that is, yeah, day after tomorrow, I am taking an hour and a half lecture with Naval War College on Pakistan. I'm doing a politico-military assessment of Pakistan Army. It's a 1.5 hour lecture. What I'll do is I'll cut it into 3 bits, right? And I'll talk every day for about 20 minutes or so on one part. There are 3 distinct parts of that lecture. I'll put 3 distinct parts across to you people, and then you'll know, what Pak vulnerabilities are. I did a lot of research to put the thing together. It's a little hatke. in many ways, and it's a little stereotype in many ways because Pakistan तो वही है ना और कितना बात करेगा. So we'll see where we go. Hopefully plan to induct AMCA by 10, 2035. Don't get involved with this. Sam, I see that you are looking at unnecessary milestones and all that. Even then it will have to be an imported engine. ये वो भाई धीरे धीरे चलने दे. Why are you looking at 2035? अभी तो you are in 2024 only, 12 years ahead. किसने देखा? धीरे धीरे, let's go incrementally. Yeah, can't trust the USA. I agree with you. Yeah, what are the questions? Uh, oh, this is nice, General Shankar. So, I mean, I don't know what you're talking nice. If you could tell me, I'll be grateful. Uh, okay, Brian, after a long time, was asking a question. With the civil war in Burma, China is extending into Shan state area. Why is India not taking this opportunity and take back Coco Island? I read it was part of British India. No, we should not get involved with offensives. China is in a mess in Myanmar. Let me tell you this. The Chan state is completely out of China's control. If you think they're in China's control. The latest input is mercenaries have landed out there, American and British. Now they'll create more chaos. And who will it get affected? China. This is the ideal recipe for, America to create chaos there. When he is creating chaos, why are you bothered? Coco Island क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. वैसे भी वो बांग्लादेश में आके बैठ गए. Okay, US guys. तो अभी देखो आगे आगे क्या होता है. How to use maneuvers with hammer and anvil strategy? How to use maneuvers, pincer movement with brute strength? Well, you don't do maneuver with brute strength. You maneuver, you move. Maneuver offsets brute strength. If you have brute strength, you don't have. I mean, if you don't have brute strength and you maneuver, it offsets, right? If you have brute strength, you might not need to have maneuver. You don't mind. The requirement of maneuver is less. You can just bash your head through. Okay, so that is something tactical that you can't avoid. And hammer and anvil is a tactical ploy where one person holds the line, the other person comes and hits from behind. That's the hammer and anvil. You can't explain how this can be done here, on YouTube. These are on ground tactics, base level, unit level, formation level tactics. These are not strategic thinking. This is not defense thinking at the higher level. This is not capability building. Okay. Shishir says, Hi Akash, glad to see you here. How is Kailash? Oh, remember me from Hindu days, first class. Yeah, good. Can you tell us something about Chandigarh lobby? There's no Chandigarh lobby the way I look at it. You have to understand, Chandigarh is a place where a lot of retired people go have settled. They're from Haryana and they're from Punjab. A lot of army officers have settled, a lot of civil officers have settled. So that's a vibrant place where a lot of thinking goes on. And if they're thinking, so they'll emote and they'll give their views, and then someone will listen to it. So that's about all. There's nothing. There's no lobby which is doing something for Chandigarh. Forget it. It's all the same. So we rely on input for sensors just because our battle management system is indigenous. Yeah, I agree with you. But these are things which someone is taking care of. Don't worry. Ukraine's critical equipment infrastructure with quadcopters and drones. Should we nomenclatures? Should we nomenclate drones as slow and ground hugging quick? No, no. You can do. There are many types. You can't be fixed on one. Don't worry. He says, why worries armed forces are not accounting? No, no, I don't think so. I think then you're widely off. If you think we can't, we are doing it. Sir, if C goes, do you really think China LAC policy will change? CCP is a giant bureaucracy, its own seems a institutionalized. Yeah, it will not change. None of the things won't change. But if there's chaos in China, then you get opportunities. If those opportunities are well utilized, you can do a lot of things. Yesterday also, if you see, General Dushan mentioned about it. What is the actual situation of Hindus in Bangladesh at present? Really, I don't have that kind of input. Okay, I don't have that kind of input. But it doesn't appear to be what's coming out in our social media. Things are not that bad. And what's interesting is that not a single Hindu has said, I want to get out. Yeah. How's the progress in defense industrial corridor? Poor. We're not doing well. As simple as that. For some reason, things are not going well. Will Putin use tactical nuclear nukes that Mother Russia is under attack? What will happen if he does? West backs off or not? Look, it's not simple. That Kirk's 20 kilometers or 10 kilometers enables these chaps also to use tactical nuclear weapons and go in and fire into Mother Russia. So actually, the thing has become difficult. It's not easy. ये तो बात करने के लिए अच्छा है, but it's not easy. Xi Jinping is purposely maintaining a low profile to avoid exposure due to his disastrous economic policies. Possible, possible. Can we ever make a better assault rifle? We can. It takes a lot of things to happen. Uh, when we can make guns, we can make air defense missile systems. We can make many things. Why we can't make rifle? Largely, it is because of our structures. OFB, DRDO, and the government. They messed it up. Rahul, not to sound like a sociopath, how is it that a country like India doesn't exercise hegemony over its immediate neighbors and has no ambition to do so? Of course we do. I don't have any doubt about it. I think you got it wrong. Why is the strategic community reluctant to push for denuclearization? It's not easy. And what is the strategic community? Who? India? China? China has given them everything. Uh, America? America looked the other way when Pak got nuclearized. So this is all. No one wants to no one wants to do anything. Yeah. Colonel Raina sir is a Dogra military officer. He's written 26 military books. He lives in Punch. Very powerful defense speaker. He will be on first class. I'm all the best to him. Only thing I have not heard him. Huh? And look, you have to understand something else when you come to gunner shot. The guys who come to gunner shot make policy. We impress policy. People listen to us. Uh, we go and talk to the leadership, all of us, all the ambassadors, and we also communicate to you. We take information from you. We take feedback from you, and then we give it to those people. Look, this is the way things should be happen and all that. We are also opening up the strategic thinking to all of you. Uh, I don't know if Raina has written 26 books and I don't even know one of it. So what is he? I don't know. He must be very good. All the best to him. And as far as I'm concerned, Jaipur Dialogues is just one event. Just one event. Every month I attend 4 events like that. Jaipur Dialogues is in the public sphere, but the events which many of us attend are not open, but we do. And Jaipur dialogues, anyone, like for example, I'm going to go for the Bhopal military lit fest, going for the Chandigarh lit fest. So they might not be that famous, but they carry value. As far as military things goes, Jaipur dialogue doesn't carry value, unfortunately. It carries a viewpoint, but it doesn't carry value for the military circles. Okay. And I'm interested in that. I'm not interested in the societal issues which come up in all these conferences. And I would like to put across my point of view, whether others like it or not. That's how it is. Uh, yeah. So I have a new member, Nitin. Welcome. I'm glad that you joined. Honored. Yeah. Will ISI get the designation of a core? It is already. It's a core or a division which matters. They are the core of Pakistan Army. Yeah. Why has Russia taken them by surprise in Kursk? Russia lost 20 to 25 warships in Black Sea. Will it be unfair to say sometimes Russia seems novel, stupid, unprepared? Wrong view? Yes, it's a wrong view. Remember, war is a two-sided affair. तो हम आप यहाँ बैठ के कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं। देखिए, दो हाथ चाहिए ताली बजाने के लिए। आप जो कर सकते हो, दुश्मन भी वही कर सकता है या और कुछ कर सकता है। That's what the Chinese realized in Galwan. उन्होंने सोचा कि हम कुछ करेंगे और कोई नहीं करेगा, हम जाके बैठ गए। अब वो साउथ चाइना सी में फंसे पड़े हैं। हर रोज वहां तू कबड्डी हो रहा है इन द सी एंड Philippines has got no defense, nothing, but they're not able to go. So life is different. Life on ground is different when you see bleeding and you're dying and all that. Things are different. On Chandigarh, do you know Pak Punjabi lady or Rusa Islam? I really, all this I don't get involved there. Yeah, China's weird kind of adversary. What will work with him, the carrot or the stick? I hope so. Yeah, we'll do that. Uh, your take on Munir and Faiz fiasco. It's not a fiasco, it's a well planned operation. No, Faiz Ahmad has been put in the dock. Very simple. It's a political operation. Okay. Uh, Munir wants just corner power. And he doesn't want Imran Khan and Faiz to see the light of the day. As simple as that. Terrorist attacks, yeah, this is part of the normal story. There's nothing very great about it. Okay. Yeah. So is the claim of Mrs. Hasina true that USA wanted an island? Yeah, it's true because it came out 2 months back. Uh, yeah, explained all this, Brian. Right? Even a 1 mile or 2 miles runaway is quite a big thing for many aircraft. Don't worry. And from there, you can also do some reclamation and expansion. The Chinese can do it, the Americans can do it. And from there, within 1 hour, you can hit mainland China. That's a problem for China. So remember that. Yeah. Are PSUs better than private sector for jobs? No, they're all the same. Okay. So, yeah. Do you think Europe has become soft? Yes, it has become soft. As simple as that. The rest of the thing, kani hai. Uh, please do one session on the recent global development compact. कुछ बचा ही नहीं है. कौन सा development compact है? Everything is broken. Your development was 3-4 years back before the COVID. BRI was the great development compact which was being developed. That's gone, broken. No one is getting developed today. Okay, so there's no development contact. Unless you tell me, sir, you talk about A, B, C, D. Harshit, I'm then prepared to talk. But as of now, there's no development taking place globally. Everyone is going back. Fine. I think we've done the whole thing. I must thank all of you for patiently listening to what I had to say. I'm glad that more members are joining. Please join in. Those of you who want to interact with me, I will enable this whenever I have a thing, right? So whenever we have an open house, I will go follow it. Someone asked about 65 war, where Harbaksh refused to implement chief's order and all that. While there are many views about this, the one view is he refused to order obey the chief. The other view is it is insubordination. I don't want to get involved with that again. There's a controversy in that. Some books, if you read, eulogize General Harbaksh. Some books don't. So it's right. Oh, okay. This is an interesting. I won't say interesting. This is a straight question. When are you planning next open house in a week? Every week I'll have one. That's the hope. Again, depends on my commitments because I still take classes. Like today, I had to take classes. I'm teaching missile technology these days. And my class, I have a class strength of 62 people. MS, MTech, and PhD guys. So I teach missile technology to those chaps in IIT. I have to prepare for it. I have to go ahead with my projects. I also have to go out for conferences and all that. And then I talk to you daily when I get time. Chalo, all the best. Have a great day. Till tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't know if I get the time because tomorrow is, we lost General Padmanabhan yesterday. Uh, Great chief, one of the best chiefs I have dealt with. Completely cerebral. I have to go for a cremation. Is it? And if I come back in time, I'll have a thing. Otherwise, 22nd. Or rather 21st. We'll do it on 21st. And 21st, if I finish in time with Naval War College, I'll start the Pakistan series there, or I'll touch on the Chinese economy because that's something I've been studying. The current state, what it was earlier, I'll not. What's the current state? What's the current internal state? Uh, Two economists, one from the West and one from China, have given same views. So we'll discuss that. See you. Bye. Take care and good evening.